Amazing. So, if you're watching the previous version of this, we tried to render out, or not even render out actually, we just wanted to see what it looked like in cycles. And it crashed everything. Everything crashed. Everything was fine until the Cycles Nation attacked. I will wait just a little bit to see if people will join back or realize what happened, but I won't pretend like I have some massive audience or following that will be endlessly refreshing their Twitch and YouTube streams to join me. Hey, Belly Dose. Thanks for returning. Yeah, we had a crash. We had a crash. And I'm actually not sure that this is gonna work the way that I want it to work. This window here, yeah, it's just not doing it for me. By that I just mean it's not working. So let's see, let's just call this glass, and got a glossy material, and see if we can't figure out how the heck to make this look the way it should. I have no clue how to make transparent glass in Blender, in Eevee specifically. I also don't remember if we apply this solidify modifier. Delete it, just go with the default settings here. Play it safe, no need to go crazy. It's not bad, okay. Oof. Three of you are back. Thanks for joining back. That was unfortunate, wasn't it? Maybe if I actually just found like a transparent PNG of some glass with some. Wait, why am I suffering through this when I could just find a texture? Glass. Interesting. Window, maybe. Nope. CG bookcase. Nope. Interesting. Okay, so that looks silly, but what if it was 250 or 2,500? Nope, that looks worse. And what happens if we... but we give it some color. This is not working. So we'll try this. Oh, the material didn't work either. We will Yep, none of this seems to be wanting to work. And I'm scared that when we switch over to cycles, it will crash everything again. Let's try to crank it on the CPU this time, see if it can handle it. That's interesting. Am I missing something obvious here? Are we doomed to fail? Yep. Out of GPU. Man, why would that be? If you're using a glass shader in Eevee, you need to turn on screen space reflections in both Eevee and the material settings. Oh. Let's try that. If my computer will let me. Risky business. Alright, we'll turn on screen space reflections. They exist here, so that's good. Refraction, yeah, we want that for glass. That's useful. And in the materials settings, viewport display. No, custom properties settings. Refraction. Blend mode. Wait, what? Something's up. I see. There we go. Screen space refraction. Oh, yes. Refraction depth. Huh. That's terrible. Reset to default. And wow, it looks atrocious. And maybe we don't want plaster on the inside of the restaurant, because that just looks like, doesn't look anything like a restaurant that I would want to go to yet. Thanks for that tip, by the way, Bellydos. I would not have remembered about screen space refractions. Screen space refraction. Great, so now we're in the restaurant. I'm gonna select this wall. Or not. Is this a joke? Do I have something turned off here that I don't know? Oh, it's because it's more than one. Okay, so we'll just do it this way then. Oh, and did I add a solidify modifier to this? Oh, I did, didn't I? Silly me. Now if I do it, can I see through? Yep. Okay. That's closer to what we want. So we'll separate this out, make it its own thing. Grab this. Separate it out. Also make it its own thing. We'll first worry about this wall's material. Remove this one, add a new one. And what would make sense? Brick maybe? Might look nice. Maybe not. But we'll see. Import from clipboard. It's going to ask me which version. And we get these giant bricks. And maybe that's because we haven't set the scale for this piece. But assuming that's not the case. Maybe we can set some like vector math goodiness here. I think I'm missing a step in terms of like subtracting and scaling, maybe. But let's assume I'm not. That's good. We don't want them like that, so we'll rotate them 90 degrees. Now they look squished, so we can scale them not around that axis, around this one. Axes. That looks reasonable-ish. Just testing out different things, see what it feels like, what it looks like. No, that's what we want. Okay. And then this bottom bit here, which will be like the, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. But we can make it something different. I don't think we need this right now. Let's get rid of it. For this one, we don't need it, so I think if I do that, it should be fine. Yep. And this is what I was looking for. So we will add a new material, close this, and we'll go to the CCO Textures, which is a great website if you want to get materials. Might need to change the index of refraction on the glass shader. Yeah, that's what's giving me that terrible shifting, isn't it? And we'll give it a wood paneling. Brick and wood, does that make sense? Brick and stone tiles? Brick and tiles, let's do that. And what's this looking like? Like hot garbage. We'll do another scaling madness here. I'm sure this would look great if why did we even bother doing the floor if we can't see the floor? I swear sometimes. Index of refraction, yeah, we need to work that out on the glass here. There we go. I think that looks reasonable. I'm still getting this terrible blur that I don't really like. That looks even worse. I mean, 1.15, is that better? Hardly. Bellydo says, Tom explains glass and EV pretty well in his potion bottle video on default cube. That's a good idea, yeah, I should look into that. Oh, and we can see the floor. That's good. Okay, we'll leave it here for now. Let's roughness. Nope. Okay. We're losing some of that light casting out of the restaurant that I liked before. If I move this away, see if we get some of this light. So I wonder what I can change to make this translucent. Diffuse in material. Oh, is there literally a translucent shader? Yes. Maybe that's not the way. Hey Joey, thanks for joining. Joey Carlino says in the chat, the IOR might look normal in cycles. Yes, I'm sure it does. But the problem with that is that when we tried to switch over to cycles recently, it ended up crashing Blender every single time. And that could be because this is running on 2.92. I'm not sure why, since I have 2.93. But that's where we're at the moment. And we will turn those back on just to have them. Yeah, unfortunately, we're losing some of this beautiful light casting, but I want to make this translucent. I want light to pass through it. So I'm stuck. Yeah, we're keeping it all Eevee for now. I might delete some unnecessary stuff and clean it up off stream to see if we can't make this work. Sorry for the quietness. I'm just reading now how I'm supposed to. I'm trying to figure out how to create a translucent shader within Eevee. And I'm sure a lot of people are probably wondering the same thing. Screen space reflections on, refraction on, transmission 1, roughness. I mean, we have all of these things, don't we? Screen space refractions, yep. In terms of the material, we have refraction turned on. It's opaque. Subsurface translucency. Isn't that what we're looking for? No. I'm stumped. It's likely streaming that's making you crash. My work. Oh, did we crash again? No. Okay. Yeah, I think it'll work fine off stream. This is when that 3080 will come in super handy. Fraction depth 0.8. I'm gonna quickly look up what this subsurface translucency business is all about. Oh yeah, so subsurface translucency needs to be enabled in order to make the light go through an object. It only works with shadowed lights, does not work with indirect lighting. I'm not sure I understand what that means. It's likely switch shadow mode to none in the material. Okay, shadow, none. Oh my god. You fixed it. Sweet. And then if we turn this on, what does this afford us? Nothing, seems. Great. Well, this feels like a good spot to be. It still kind of feels to me like a poster, but that's because that could be because of the lighting inside. I mean, there's not much going on here. I'll just steal this light and set it up here too, to be consistent, even though it's not technically in frame. If we wanted to animate a camera move or something, which I might do, I don't know, then it's looking good. I think we can get rid of this reference that we were using. Restaurants typically, it's not always the case, but at least the ones that I've been to tend to have doors, so people can get in and make purchases. So we will create a door. Do we want this bit out? Yeah. extrude it just a bit. Might add a step there or something. I don't know. Make it make sense. It's not visible in this frame, which is fine. Bellitos goes, ta-da! Yeah, I mean, to you it might just be like, ta-da, but to me it's like, ta-da! It was great. Great trick. Appreciate it. Let's move the cursor to the world origin, because it's always good to just think about the world origin. And the origin of the world. And I see that this is jutting out, and it kind of annoys me a little bit because it wasn't earlier, but if you missed it, we basically deleted the damn building and started over again. And we just want it to pop out just a little bit, but not all that much. And I don't know that we need these panels here like this anymore. But let's pretend we do. But let's pretend we do. There we go. The whole point of that was to shed some light on these cars. Okay. Well, I still feel like we have a lot of empty space right here, so I'm tempted to add a poster. And because you all are watching, and I appreciate it, I'm open to suggestions on what the poster should be. So I'll give you some time for the stream to catch up and to throw some suggestions, and then we'll find out what it is, and I'll just do it, add the poster, and call it for today, because I'm pretty happy with the progress here. But your boy's got to go drink some water, because he's getting smacky, and that's no good. Belly Dose says, I'm off for the night myself. It's after 2 a.m. here. Need my beauty sleep. That explains so much. It's that beauty sleep. You go get it. Thanks so much for joining and for all the help. And if you have any suggestions before you part as to what you'd like the poster to be, I'm happy to take those. Otherwise, I think an idea just sparked, but I'm curious to know what you might be considering. Just get ourselves set up here and make sure I didn't put this. Yep, I did put it accidentally on the glass. That's okay. I'll drop it here. And all I need to do is images is playing. So that's it. You know what? What if somebody was making a joke about Blenderness burgers the other day, and I can't remember who it was or what inspired it, but what if the poster was literally just wait a minute, what's happening here? Let's give this some thickness. Brown. And we'll have it snap to the face. Just bring it up just a little bit. And we can't see it through the wall. Through the window. But if we move the window, then we can see it. What is this sorcery? Well, I'll save it here, just in case something bad happens. Check the chat. You could try counter with a fountain soda machine, but that's more work than a poster. Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea. Counter with a soda machine. Yeah, and that's a great idea. So I will do that. And I'll leave the poster. The poster can stay if it wants to show through the glass, which apparently it doesn't. I'm not sure why. Maybe don't show backface will fix that? Nope. Okay. Oh, there we go. Eevee and its stuff, man. Just always being tricky. Poster looks a bit not real, but you know, it's a poster. And oh yeah, Joey says, is it something to do with the blend mode? Yes, it really was. Always gets you. These blend modes. Quickly go into solid mode here. And I'm just going to make a cube for this counter. And this is what anybody who uses Blender and has like some level of time and understanding with the tool will tell you this. Actually, wait, why bother? Oh bother. Why bother doing this if I could just bring it in? Counter. We want a counter. Pub counter. Not quite. Maybe like bureau. Desk. Yeah. 1,000 faces. Maybe not. No need for that. Let's just make one. Let's go back to before I rudely deleted that one. And what's a counter look like? It's got a top. And it doesn't even have to have legs, but maybe it can have partitions. Some sort. And this will mess with the shading a little bit, but who cares? Extend these out just a little bit. Okay. And there might be some work here to be done. So maybe we'll make this countertop. Drawers and then call it. I think for that I might do the cheeky thing and just find a photo of some counters on the internet that's head-on, or counter, what is it, kitchen counter. Yeah, I mean, this looks fine. So I'm gonna quickly save this image and then show you what I'm working with. But for some reason, it's not letting me, so we'll do the tricky thing and inspect the source in order to find the image. Always inspect the source. I found it. Save it. Save it as counter. I'll bring it in here to show you. It's gonna look like this. And that's gonna look awful, but we'll make it work. Go into shading, add a new material, delete this, Control T using the Blender's inbuilt add-on called Node Wrangler, and we'll find that counter image. There it is. And it will apply it. So now all we have to do is just unwrap it properly. So take these faces, go bring over our editor here. Hit U, unwrap. Select them, rotate them 90 degrees, and maybe drop them there. U to unwrap this one. Select it, and we'll just give it some of this wood siding. Doesn't look all that great. Hey, we're getting that line. Don't really want that rotated 90 degrees. That looks a bit better. And I think with this one specifically, yeah, we're getting some of the white maybe. No, but the seam here is bothering me now. That's actually a face on its own. That's annoying. But I think we can select the two. You can just select the one actually, and just bring it up here or something. And who's gonna know? Now it looks very out of place because the color is off. So we'll just call this counter just to keep it somewhat organized. And in terms of colors, try to approximate what we've got going on here, and maybe we want to give it a principled BSDF. Like I said, you want to make it make sense and bring the specular down. and the roughness up. We'll see briefly what that looks like. Doesn't look bad, but definitely doesn't look like wood. So maybe one thing we want to do is also grab some bump, plug that into the height, feed it to the normals, and it might be the strength actually. That doesn't look great. And it gets lost in the scene, which is not what we want. I may be throwing this color ramp in the wrong place. It might actually fit better here, come to think of it. And maybe it's not bump what I'm looking for. Maybe it's just normal. Or perhaps normal map. Yes. And then feed that in there. And then this into normal. I mean, this is interesting, but it's not at all what I'm going for. Well, as we've been doing so far, one simple way to undo all of this, or just to get a better result than what I might be able to mess around with here and make, is to bring in a texture from the outside world. So I'll do just that. Brought this wooden texture in. That's already starting to look like something that fits in the scene. And if I want to tweak this wood color, I can just throw in a mix shader. Nope. Mix RGB actually. and set the second color to whatever I want it to be. I think that fits the scene a bit better. We can make this countertop marble. So I'll just quickly look up marble. I've got some, and I'll bring it in just by selecting the piece I want to apply it to, it being the marble material that I looked up on CCO textures. Import from clipboard. Wait for the prompt asking me what variant I want. In this case I want the 1K variant because we don't need textures that are bigger than that, since just make it longer to render for no reason. And now we're getting somewhere. And the soda machine that Joey was talking about, we can throw that in during the next stream. Well, if you're watching this back, if you joined me for the first one and the second one, I appreciate you. Thanks for doing so. I'm going to try to wrap this scene up with the next stream, so that will be the 7th one, not version 6.2 like this one has been. But this has been really fun in fleshing out this scene and trying to think about the best way of recreating what is this drive-through menu board, which, if you haven't been following along, came from photos I took of one that looks exactly like this, but in the physical world. And that stream evolved into just creating this whole drive-through scene, which I'm pretty proud of and happy with. These two cars here are photo scans that I took with my phone, an iPhone. I used the Polycam app. This trash bin here is also a scan using that same app. This bus stop back here is a bus stop that I recreated from the Netflix show Dark. It's in the town of Winden. It's a fictional town, I think. I believe it's meant to be set in Germany. And after watching the show, this was earlier into my Blender projects, I recreated it, but I didn't have the textures set up properly such that they would follow the project when I moved it around in my file. So I'm going to have to revisit these and recreate them too, since I had the two missing posters from the show, as well as a map of the city here, which I'd love to go back to. And now that I have this awesome add-on called Grasveld, I can generate photorealistic grass with a touch of a couple buttons, which you can see in my other stream. So I would love to add some of those down here to the sides of this bus stop once this becomes its own separate scene. But this is where we got in essentially 2 streams today, which is not bad. It's about 8 or maybe 10 hours of work, and a lot of that was because I was talking through it and trying to sort of explain to some degree what I was doing, or at least what I was researching. One other thing that I might do now that I've just gone through this off the stream is try to change these to be, or maybe I'll do a separate stream or a longer stream next time where I use Photoshop to create new images for this menu board here, so that we're not running into any infringement issues, and also getting to practice some creativity. I think the last thing I'll do is move this poster to a place that makes more sense within this frame. So I think here, maybe a bit lower is good. Turn these guidelines off. I think this is a reasonable spot, not just for this poster, but to end the stream. So if you've joined me, again, thanks so much. I'll continue doing these because they're a lot of fun to do, and I love it when people join. So if you want to be notified of when these are happening, you can join my Discord server, which is in the description of this video. And if you feel so inclined, if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch, you can also subscribe and ring the notification bell, as YouTubers and other social media people will ask you to do. And the reason being, not only will you get notified, but it also helps the algorithms on YouTube and Twitch let other people know that this might be something that they would be interested in watching. So do that if you feel so inclined.